All right, good afternoon, friends. So last night we had two very big news. One of it was Nvidia's earnings. The other one was CrowdStrike's earnings. Okay, and both of them actually dipped after market when they reported the earnings. So then the question is, okay, is it time to buy? So then I decided to push out this video as soon as possible before the market opens today, so all of you will be informed and know what are things to look out for. Okay, and see whether it's really an opportunity for you. But before that, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to like this video and subscribe to us. Okay, it could really help me to push out more of such video to you. And for those of you who are already in our community, I've really broken down both my valuations and my technical analysis and buy price for Nvidia. So depending on where you are, you can check it out on Facebook or you can check it out on Discord. But today I'll just focus on the broad earnings, highlight the key items and what they mean for investors more broadly. Okay, so what did we see, right? Nvidia forecast decelerating growth after 2 years AI boom. So this is what the media says. You can see that they are using this kind of terms out there. Okay, Nvidia forecast higher revenue but warns of China uncertainty. Okay, Nvidia beats on top line and bottom line, then suddenly here's why the stock is falling. So you can see this is what the media is saying, but let's look deeper to see what actually happened in these earnings. Okay, so you can see for their results, right, they almost beat everything. Data center slightly missed. So data center is one of the biggest revenue generator and it just missed slightly. Not say it's very bad, but apart from that, everything was a beat, you guys can see. And even their guidance for the next quarter, they also beat. Okay, that means if let's say the market was expecting them to score 90 for next quarter, they tell the market, say we are going to do 92. Simple as that. So you can see basically the results were fantastic. Basically their guidance was fantastic. Okay, but what actually happened? After hours, they are down 3%. Guys, okay, so you start to question yourself, how come the company's earnings are so good? How come what they forecast is so good? But then the price drops as well. Okay, so whenever this kind of thing happens, right, for any companies, not just Nvidia, right, the question we have to ask ourselves is two main questions, which is number one, why? Why is this happening? Right? Okay, and once we know that why is this happening, the second question is, does it make sense? Okay, because when we can figure both things out, we will kind of know whether this is actually an opportunity, is it overreacted, or if there is really an issue with the business. So this is the main 2 points that I'll be focusing in this particular video. So the first question, why? Okay, why did they actually drop? Okay, the main reason is this. When they forecast the Q3 guidance ahead, right, what they say is the outlook exclude China H20 chip sales. Okay, so basically what happened was the H20 is basically a chip, right, that the Nvidia actually modified to be able to sell to China. Okay, because they couldn't sell the most advanced chips to China for is for national security reasons. So they had to create a downgraded version to be able to sell to China. Okay, so this was the main reason, because what management said is that even though my revenue, okay, hear me carefully, the management said this, even though my revenue guidance is beating what people are expecting, I never include China sales. This is basically what they are saying. Okay, then you think about it, right? You let that question that I say sink your head. Okay, so the second question is, okay, now we know why it dropped, why the market kind of like slowed it down, right? The next question is, does it make sense or not? Okay, then we start to dig deep into what the management say. So all these things that I'm sharing, all these big paragraphs, there's a lot of words, so I will be highlighting the important points. These are all from the earnings transcript. So I've really read through all of them. I distilled them. I pull out the key paragraphs for all of you to understand what is happening. So what happened was actually back in April, right? If you guys see, remember what happened was that the US government said, Nvidia cannot sell their chips to China anymore. That's why at that point in time, there was a shock. But what happened after that is that in late July, just less than 1 month ago, right, the US government began reviewing licenses for sales of H20 back to China customer. And you can see, while a select number have received license already, so that means basically it means they can already start selling back to China for H20. They have not shipped any H20 yet. Have not shipped. Okay, then the second part is the US government, right, will receive the revenue. So this is an agreement that Nvidia work with the government, right, where there will be a revenue share. But you can see, they have already review license. That means that Nvidia can now sell back to China. Okay, but what did Nvidia say, right, is that Jensen Huang, okay, the CEO, he actually personally visited the White House in July and August to secure export license control. And then you can see this is similar, right? White House announced that Trump and Huang has struck a deal, right, in which Nvidia will receive export license, okay, in exchange for 15%. This is what you see. But guys, I want you to bring your attention to the second paragraph. Take a look at this. Trump said he was open to making a deal for Blackwell chips, which is Nvidia's latest AI technology. Guys, think about it. Right now, Nvidia can only sell the H20 chips, the lower performance chip to China. And Trump says he's open to making a deal for Nvidia to sell Blackwell chips to China, which is Nvidia's latest technology. Guys, this is big news because the Blackwell chips, right, is more advanced. More advanced means Nvidia can sell more expensive. Okay, so you can see this is what is happening now to the H20 chips. And when we look at what the guidance say, how they forecast, which is what we shared, okay, total revenue is expected at 54 billion, and the second paragraph is the most important one. We do not assume any H20 shipments to China customer in our outlook. Simple as that, right? Basically, even though the revenue is beats analyst expectation, right? They are conservative over here. They say that they do not assume any H20 shipments to China customer in their outlook. Okay, so is this good news or bad news? To me, guys, I feel this is actually a good news, because it's like it's like a bonus, Right now, they tell you guys, they put they manage your expectation and say, hey, we are only going to do this revenue. We never say that, hey, we will have China sales coming in. But my revenue forecast is beating your estimates, and it is not including China's H20 sales. And what did we see? Right. While a select number of our China-based customers have received license over the past few weeks, that means they already got license. It's not on hold already. What does it? That means, right, the revenue will start coming in. And then you might ask, hey, Bjorn, will China even buy Nvidia chips? Hey, guys, think about it. Nvidia is the leader. In order for China to even catch up to the United States in terms of AI, they have to buy Nvidia chips, or at most any of the other chips you're talking about. But Nvidia is a market leader. So you can see, this is what they say. Okay, again, this is what we have not include H20 in our Q3 outlook as we continue to work through geopolitical issues. So to me, they're becoming very, very conservative. And they say that we should ship, if let's say it resides, we should ship 2 billion to 5 billion. Okay, to me, it's very simple. What I'm hearing is that you see, sometimes when we, as investors, when we read this kind of thing, we must try to read between the fine lines. So what does it mean? That means they have forecasted that this revenue can be in Q3 already. Right? They have like forecasted already. And if you feel like the revenue is not going to happen, right, will you forecast or not? Maybe not, right? Maybe you won't have that kind of certainty. But you can see they are giving some sort of range. That means, to me, they have some level of certainty, some level of confidence. Let's not say certainty, some level of confidence that they will be able to ship it to China. Okay, so you can see, okay, America's AI tech stock can be the worst standard if you race and compete globally. So this is what they say. So you can see, when we look at the why and we see whether does it make sense, we have a much better understanding of how things are. Okay, and this is a question that was asked. It was a question asked. There was a question asked by one of the analysts and look at what they say. Okay, this is the first part, which is what you say. Okay, so you can see that we are still waiting on several of the geopolitical issues going back and forth between the government and what they want to do. So it's still open. We are not exactly sure. However, more interest, we can also build additional. That means they have the capabilities to ship faster as much as possible. Okay, and you can see interest, okay, as supply, they are ready. That's why they say they're somewhere in 2 billion to 5 billion. That means they have already forecasted it already lah. Okay, so you can see this is what management said in the earnings transcript. Okay, and one more thing, okay, this is what Jensen Huang said before he closed off the whole earnings transcript. Okay, I want you to see how confident when you read the words you can listen to the earnings transcript as well. But when you see the words that the management, the CEO says, you can kind of sense his confidence. Look at how he said, not only are we the most energy efficient, our performance per watt is the best of any computing platform. Okay, in a world of power limited data center, performance per watt drive directly to revenue. Let me highlight because my line was a bit slanted. It's the best of any compute platform. We are the most energy efficient. And you heard me say before that the more you buy, the more you grow. Okay, so this is what he said. And because our performance per dollar is so incredible, you also have extremely great margin. Okay, so it's absolutely the best. Okay, this is what he is saying. Okay, to me, this is him being very confident. Okay, if you are not confident of what you are providing, right, you wouldn't have said this, correct or not? So there's a lot of reason why Nvidia is chosen by every cloud and every startup and every computer company. We are really a holistic full stack solution for AI factories. Okay, this is what Jensen Huang says. So if there's anything, if as one thing you want a company, a good product, you also want a good CEO that's confident in his product, that knows what he is doing. And to me, this shows his confidence. Okay, and so you can see this is continuing on. You can see the bars is everything is sold out. Okay, H100 sold out, all their chips are H200 are sold out. Large CSP are coming out renting capacity from other CSP, and so the AI native startup are getting to get capacity, and demand is really high. Okay, so you can see that now you can see that capex is capital expenditure for these AI companies, right? It doubled in 2 years, now running about 600 billion. And he also said for us to grow into that 600 billion a year, representing a significant part of the capex isn't unreasonable. So you can see, to me, this is confidence, okay? And you want your CEO to have confidence to know what is he saying as well, okay? We see a really fast growing, really significant growth opportunity ahead. Okay, so you can see, does it make sense or not? Okay, so now you see, what happened back in April. Okay, this was the export rule that I was talking about just now. Okay, so what happened was Nvidia share plunged amidst 5.5 billion hit over export rules to China. So this was what I shared earlier, what happened in April. Okay, so what actually happened then, guys? You see, on that week, okay, you see, 14 April to 22nd April, right? This is also slightly just after Trump's Trump tariff, like 1 week after. So the Nvidia at that point in time, it dropped by 17% within that 1 week period. Guys, within that 1 week, it dropped by 17%. So you see, it's very interesting. Now, the even though the market has, at that point in time, think about it. At that point in time, they said that the sales, they have issues, okay? The hit over export rules, and then the stock price tanked by 17%. Okay? Now, you see, now is slightly different. Now, it's not export rules that are being blocked to Nvidia. Now, what are they saying? They are saying that, oh, the forecast did not include H20 sales, but we can already sell to China. But the stock sold down as well. Correct or not? You guys see it's a bit funny how the market works, right? When they take this kind of random news, this kind of short-term news. Now, you see, in this 1 week period, right, when you see Nvidia drop 70%, you'll be scared, I'm pretty sure all of you see that, wow, this is damn bad, But guys, let me show you guys a different picture. Now, look at this. Look at this. This is the period where it dropped. Tuesday, 15 April to Monday. Around there, the percentage is around there. What happened after that, guys? Okay, what happened after that? Okay, it's up all the way. Right, slowly it scaled up right after that. So you guys can see it's very funny one. And suddenly, the market is not talking about these export rules that happened back in April. And suddenly everyone is focusing on right now, them not putting the China revenue, which they said is just not forecasted in their future revenue. They're just focusing on that and the after hours drop. Okay, so what is the key lesson here? Guys, I want all of you to think in a more zoom out phase. Okay, don't let this kind of short-term news try to spook you out. Okay, don't let this kind of short-term news spook you out. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share for Nvidia. Now again, for the valuations and buy point for those in the community, I've already shared inside the Facebook and Discord, so be sure to check them out. But yeah, I hope that you guys have kind of enjoyed this. If you like more of such insights, right, okay, feel free to join my Telegram over here. Okay, is where I break down all of these analyses as well, a lot more deeper insights apart from earnings, a lot of market insights and videos, and a lot of things to help you to grow your mindset as an investor. So if this is a cup of tea, it's free to join. Feel free to join me inside, and I'll see you inside. All right, so that's all for today's video, and I'll see you again. There'll be another video for CrowdStrike next, so be sure to watch that next after this. Okay, see you.